Welcome back to the Crusade. Last time we played, we found worshippers of Desna. Unfortunately, Hullrun was there, and their leader was brutally murdered. Now we have the task of finding the remaining worshippers and help them with their plight. I am Konstantin. I represent a sword saint that was a crusader to these lands. In the process of fighting demons, I got wounded and was brought to Canabris to heal. In the middle of all the chaos, Descari attacked and started what would soon be known as the Fifth Crusade. My pals Finian, Sela, Lan, Aaron Kai, Woljif, and Ember. I almost called her Asha for some reason. I have no idea why. Let's see what's this way. To adjust that, I just realized that every single button I pressed was being heard and picked up. What happened here? The bodies have a variety of wounds. One is covered in burns, others have weapons or claw marks. It is safe to assume that they were decapitated post-mortem. This is unusual. I kind of want to see it without the on it. Wow. I don't think we go further this way. Hey, wait a second. Didn't someone run into us asking for help? Oh, that's right. I think someone to the north. I think it was... Honestly, I don't remember. Might have to leave the map to find it, though. Yeah, I kind of want to enter the... So we're here, huh? I need to cross this cavern somehow. Up here would do. Mobility check. Should be able to pass it, I think.
A trivial matter.
Trivial indeed. Go check out this house. I think I came here already. Wonder if I'm running in circles at this point. I think I am. Where are the leads? Hear me. Take heed. Let's see what it actually said. Hear me, take heed. The hordes of the Abyss march on Canabris. The ward stone is their target. They must not be allowed to capture it. The consequences will be disastrous. Well, that's ominous. Definitely want purifying potions. We can use that for when we're camping. I think this is the temple. But I haven't found Aranka yet. But I think I'm going to try to find Aranka first. I think that's the play. Let's go find Aranka. And I don't think she's here. I still want to see what's inside.
Escaping. I found
There's a drop there. something here. Cellar? See something. These fighters must have been caught off guard. They died before they could draw their weapons. Their bodies are covered in a thin layer of ice that is slowly melting. That's ominous. Let's see what he's got. The invisibility. Fire. Fairy fire. A glow. Oh, so it makes it hard for people to detect me. Let's see, so... detect. You know, my gut's telling me to leave this place. I've played this game before, but I don't really remember this. But I think I'm going to listen to my gut. I think I'm going to go and try to help out that lady. We'll come back to the house later. Although I want to see what's in this chest over here. Let's sneak in so we can go a little faster. Protection from chaos. Spirits. Gold, I'll take them all. Learn about an experiment. Oh, so he's looking into quasits, huh? And his progress was very intense. But they're able to... Oh, it managed to steal his watch and throw it in a chamber pot. Oh, so they like to play pranks on people. Ooh, they mentioned Jubilas Northrop. So he's from Pathfinder Kingmaker. I think he's a halfling. I'm not actually sure, but he was an alchemist, and he was a pretty powerful alchemist if you built him right. At first, I couldn't stand him, but after doing his quests, I came to respect him. So I actually like Jubilee. I'm not interested in reading the... I'm going to take the note, and I'm going to search the spot. We'll come back to the rest later. I hope the audio is coming in clear. All right. Where are we going? All right, so let's... I say... go this way. And... exit this area. Gonna take that spell, this, and anything else that's worth the price. Figure if it is worth more than how much it weighs, it's worth it. And that's hardly anything here. I think this might be kind of heavy, but these are worth it. Let's leave. We're gonna sell all of those things. Supposed to help somebody, but I don't know where they are. Oh, here's the party. One of the richest and most distinguished citizens own this house of endless revelry. The feasts held here have become legendary, and the toils of war seem to steer clear of this house until the demons came knocking right on its door. No better time for a banquet. Go check it out. And we failed to pass the sneak check. First, the dredge get annoying. Evil cultists. I think this should be fine. But he's gonna go ahead and take it. Did kill it. So let's charge him. I want that direction. I need sneak attack damage, so I'm gonna aim for this guy.
Cover me, all right?
Nice, good kill. Let's give you. Let's see if we can put you to sleep. Oh, good chance. It did it. I'm gonna kill him. Missed! Critical miss. That would have been unfortunate. They're gonna be missing. Yeah, that was on me. I should have had Sela kill the Dredge as soon as possible. Let's get out of here. Continue. Enter. I have a sneaking suspicion I should buff first. Do it. Here. Good align on. Let's do it on land. And let's go. Left or right? Oh, left? Oh! What a splendid occasion, Count. And this new Numerian elixir is quite something. They have a very festive party. Oh, look! Such daring little creatures! I smell beauty! They're demons! Help! Wonderful. How... Now brace yourself for the smell of your own blood, you ghastly eyesore. Huh. Daeran. Alright. Let's do it. Let's, do we want to do this in act? I'm going to sneak. I'm going to have Woldriff.
Can we retreat already?
Nice hit. Let's see if we can. Well, what's his one? Will save is +4. His fortitude sucks. Let's try to do something fortitude related. Have any fortitude? Oop, but I can't go far enough with that. Move forward. Woldriff, can you take a second shot? Ooh, beautiful. Oh, Sela! I don't know why I did that. Revan. Let's... Oh, I should just... Let's bless Woldriff's next attack. That way you have a higher chance of hitting land.
You've crossed the wrong mark.
You just make yourself look pretty. I'm going to do a long range. Huh. One shot. 7 damage. Alright. Let's try... Oh, I should really take care of that. would have been really sad is if he's actually a great fighter.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Nice. Sela, Terrify. You know what? I'm going to give Dan the blessing. Land. Shot. Shot. Come on, Aranka, focus. There must be a way out somewhere. Oh, Aranka, that's one of the people we needed to find, right? So she must be a follower of Desna. Oh, let's go talk to her. Thank you, stranger. The young woman does not look the least bit scared. Her cheeks are flushed, and her blue eyes are glittering. For saving us from the demons, and for your timely entrance. I swear, I don't know who has enraged me more today, the demons or the oh-so-affable master of this house. I am a friend of Ilkus. He asked me to find you and protect you. If that's not how you pronounce his name, maybe it's Ilks? Please let me know in the comments, but I'm going to call him Ilkus until I'm corrected. The young woman clasps her hands together. Ilkus is alive? And he's made a brilliant new friend? It's a shame it had to happen now, when the city is under siege by demons. And those pig-headed inquisitors are pursuing us instead of doing something useful. How did you end up here? I asked. Elrond's hounds found me and Wallflower, and they tried to capture us. I distracted them. Then I lost them in the streets before charming my way into this party. Even if the Inquisitors saw where I went, they wouldn't have been able to be allowed past the doors. Elrond holds no sway among certain members of aristocracy, so I picked a good place to lie low. That is, until the demons showed up. She shivers and wraps her arms around herself. Now that's more like it. So I have inadvertently been harboring a traitor wanted by Canobras Inquisition. This day wasn't such a waste after all. I look back to Aranka, trying to keep focused on trying to find all of the Desna worshippers. Do you know where the third member of your group is? Wallflower, correct? Wallflower? No idea. If he knows about the demon attack, he won't just hide away. He'll go out and try to help people. If he doesn't know, well, you have no chance of finding him. He's a pretty skilled mage, but I doubt he'll risk using magic. He'll probably do something the Inquisitors won't expect. Pose as someone, disguise himself. He had a great selection of masquerade costumes in the temple. It becomes lost in thought for a moment. I know. I'll tie my skull around your arm. Wallflower gave it to me. He'll spot it right away and know you're a friend. If I were you, I'd look for him in Canobras Market Square. I have one more question. Elrond said that you corrupted the Wardstone somehow, and I understand that he's a zealot, but it's not exactly legal to break into a very secure place and attack it, so why did you decide to break into the Wardstone and cast magic on it? You put your lives at risk. Your information could have been a trap set by demons. But it wasn't a trap, Aranka says forcefully. Then her voice softens as her expression turns pensive. Well, I totally read that wrong. You know, living next to the World Rune and seeing the powerlessness of the Crusaders is very hard. We've been trying to defeat the demons for hundreds of years now, and we have nothing to show for it. I think that Queen Galfrey and her other leaders think that we can defeat evil if we line up our soldiers in perfect columns and send them marching off with a stirring battle cry. We just need more soldiers, a little more discipline. But we've been marching for 100 years, and it's always one step forward and 2 steps back. And while the soldiers are marching, people like Holrun are seizing power behind their backs. His fanaticism and cruelty were forged in the same furnace as the Crusaders' righteousness. We will never defeat the demons if we keep trying to march down the same path. We need to change track. Change tack, let's go with that. To challenge our principles, trust our hearts and our friends, and not moldering doctrines. That's a new word, moldering. We need to listen to any entity that is willing to help us. My friends and I listened, and we trusted, and we tried to change something. At least we tried, even though it didn't work out. Great idea. Marching in straight lines won't work. So let's go attack the demons in a merry band of hoppers and dreamers, brimming with enthusiasm and doing just whatever we feel like. When the demons see us coming, they'll die of hysterics and our victory will be complete. Naive children. That's what you are, but I admit, your words stir something in my soul. I wouldn't put you in charge of a military campaign, but I'd be proud to fight alongside you. Well then, I need to make sure you're safe. Can you get somewhere on your own just fine? It looks like the Inquisitors aren't busting down the doors just yet, and they're not hiding under the bed, so I think I'm safe for now. I'll be fine on my own. I'll go to our temple, to Ilkus. The Inquisitors must have searched there by now. They won't go back for a second time. I don't think Holrun has the patience to double check every step he makes, even the actions that he takes. So, there's logic to what you say. Okay, fine. Go on. But who's the master of this place? What can you tell me about his house? About the Count? Her voice drops to a whisper. I've wanted to smash a jug over his head about 5 times today already. Just brings the feeling out in people. And it's one of my many talents. Other than that, well, you've probably already heard about the Arende family. I think it's pronounced Arende. All I can say is that the Count's servants flee this place like rats from a sinking ship. No one ever stays here long, even though he pays them extravagantly. I even heard one servant complain that he always feels uneasy in the Count's home, like someone's watching him. Unseen eyes starting at the back of his head, even if his head is to the wall, even if he turns around. I don't know if I believe all those tales, but I'm just telling you what I heard. Yeah, that's the word on the street too. The tiefling hunches his shoulders. This mansion is the tastiest morsel in the whole city, but all the thieves are afraid to even set foot in the street. Are you deliberately talking as if I'm not here? Excellent. Like any polite host, I shall return the favor and act if you are not here either. I turn back to Aranka, tilt my head a bit, and say I have to go. Good luck. May Desna be with you, stranger. And with you. Fine. I'll talk to this Count. He does seem a little butthurt that we didn't talk to him earlier. Where is he anyhow? Oh, there he is.
Greetings, valiant stranger who has just burst into my life. I am the master of this house. Count Daeran Kale, myriad mellifluous monikers Arunde. No need to introduce yourself. I find remembering insignificant details, such as the name of passing acquaintances, such a bore.
Well, you're gonna remember my name, that's for sure. Arende. That's how you pronounce it.
Wow. Bona fide blue bloods and unparalleled aristocracy. All this makes me itch to do something really crass. Ooh, like blow my nose on the curtains.
What are you waiting for, my squamous squire? The curtains in this room are velvet, but we have some excellent silk ones with gold thread elsewhere in the house. Take your pick. My soft furnishings are yours to do with as you wish. I'm quite sick of the place, truly. I shall either sell it, or burn it to the ground and build a new mansion in its place.
Or he wipes his ass with his money.
Now that we've finished with the niceties, tell me this. How did all those thrice-damned demons end up at my soiree?
I look at him in confusion. Then I say, Tenebris lies in ruins. Descari killed Terendelev. The Wardstone has been captured, and you're asking me why demons gate-crashed your party?
Tenebris in ruins. Descari. Well, 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 and I was already lamenting the lack of excitement at my little banquet. Although it must have been tolerable enough if we didn't get notice of a great hulking demon attacking a dragon just outside the window.
Seems like he already knew.
It seems as though Descari's occasion was altogether more of a crush than mine, if you will pardon the pun.
It doesn't seem that you're very concerned about the city's fate.
I have no friends here whose untimely demise I would care to mourn. The only alarming thing is how easily all this happened. I don't care for the thought that demons could come calling at my door at any moment. And just think, everyone had so much faith in the Wardstones gifted by Iomede's herald, and in the might of our tamed dragon. As if there had been no Dresden or a dozen other routes where the demons overcame every defense.
The Count falls silent and rubs his brow, looking fatigued. Konstantin, on the other hand, had to fight his urge to punch him square in his face. He sighs, realizing that he's dealing with a highborn, and he asks, "What should I know about you, Count? Apart from the fact that you're highborn and very rich."
As a child, I had my very own pony, but I always dreamed of having a lamb. I was never allowed one. Sheep were seen as peasant animals, utterly unsuitable for the scion of a noble line. The trauma haunts me to this day. I think of it every time I have roast lamb for dinner.
I'm sorry that happened to you. Such a sad story.
I had not even the slightest intention of upsetting such a lovely child.
I'm not lovely. Some people have even called me a scarecrow before.
That's patently absurd. Why, you can't possibly be a scarecrow with a crow following you around.
I squint towards Daeran.
I'm sorry if I failed to sate your curiosity. I loathe talking about myself to people I don't know, even more to those I do know. The only thing worth knowing, aside from the fact that I am highborn and filthy rich, is that I dislike Puritans and demons in equal measure. Well, perhaps demons a tad more.
I give him a scathing glance. Konstantin recognizes that his bloodline is really important, and that last name sounds very familiar. And despite his highborn status, it wasn't in his nature to let someone die just because they're a filthy aristocrat. You can go to the Defender's Heart, I finally retorted. It's under the protection of Erebeth Terabade and the Eagle Watch. You should be safe there.
I thank you for the invitation, but I am not quite as desperate as I may seem.
Hmm?
At times, it is better to be surrounded by the repugnant mugs of demons than the sour and dour physiognomies of Iomede's righteous paladins.
At first, I was going to counter and then paused. If I think of Hull Run, I can totally understand where he's coming from. There's no counter to that.
What about my physiognomy? Sour enough for his lordship? Don't worry, another few minutes with the dazzling count here, and it'll sour like week-old milk.
I smirked at Sela.
What's this? An attractive paladin with a sense of humor? You're a veritable walking scandal. Either way, my mansion is now safe. I have a pair of half-decent guards. I just need to drag them out of the storeroom and bring them to their senses. I ordered them to drink a love potion, you see? For reasons which seemed extremely witty at the time and in the state of inebriation I then found myself in. They can guard the house while the valorous paladins beat back the demon assault. They will beat them back, yes?
I'm not sure about that. I mutter under my breath.
As regards myself, I feel like stretching my legs. I know rudimentary divine spells, I am no friend to demons, and I elevate any society that I deign to grace with my presence. I shall accompany you, only for a short time, of course. I have no desire to remain at the vanguard for a protracted period. What say you, my ephemeral but highly diverting acquaintance? After all, Lord Descari spoiled my party. I now burn with the desire to spoil his.
The natural instinct was for Konstantin to tell him no. Hell no. However, upon second glance of his fierce eyes, I realized that Konstantin realizes that his words have passion to it. And considering so many people have already died, we can use all the help that we can get. I'm not certain. He might be more of a nuisance than an asset, I thought. I looked around at my peers. What's your thoughts? I asked him.
I don't like this guy much at all. Not even because of his personality, but just... I sense something dark about him.
Something dark. I look at him again, but I couldn't get any inkling.
I guess thumping him one next time he comes out with more aristocratic witterings is not allowed? All the more reason to take him with us. If we don't kill him, the demons surely will.
Lan flashes a cocky smile. Konstantin returns it.
He has all these friends at his party, and he still looks so lonely. We can take him with us. Maybe it will make him feel better?
It's hard to say no to Ember.
Don't ask me. Having him tag along would be like going for a nighttime stroll through the back alleys with a diamond tiara on your head. Even I don't like that kind of attention.
Have a good. But that name, it sounds. I cannot recall for the life of me where I've heard it. Konstantin thinks to himself. He sighs, he says, fine.
He doesn't look like a whiner, and he can hold his own, so he won't be dead weight.
You think so too, Finian? I look at him one more time, resisting the urge to square him right in his perfect jawline. That's a perfect jawline. I extend my hand. Reluctantly. Deal.
Capital. Good acquaintances that begin and end at just the right moment often leave the most pleasant memories. Wouldn't you say?
Indeed. I'm not actually adding him to our party. Well, we saved him. And why is Camellia here? Is that a bug? Hope not. She keeps following me every time I get a new companion. Well, let's go and finish helping the Desnans. Actually, I kind of want to see what's in that other room. Let me check. Let's save. Who has the highest smoke? Oh, that's me. Well, it's not a
I
hard
will
mobility.
help where I
Oh,
can.
hard. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to do the ability check. Oh, there's something here. Oh, so I can exit on this side. Oh. Old Iron Masterwork Scimitar. That's a pretty nice scimitar. I'm taking that. Composite bow, add strength. And that's useless. Okay, let's...
It is finished.
I still want to see what else is here. There's a couple checks I didn't pass. My camellias here. Look at all these Crusaders of Kingdom's ability aren't save. Good point. Musician, thank you for saving me, stranger. Okay, all those people are naked. There is a world check. Not me. Lan, nope. Marinkai. Yeah, we're not passing. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Well, we might pass it. Hey, is that Queen Gadfrey?
Let us not hesitate. The deed is done.
Portrait of Galfrey Mendev, ruler of the kingdom and founder of all crusades into Oh, what's in here? Oh, a battle. Woldriff, do what you do best. Yes. Sela, do what else you do best. Kill it, please. Yes. Faint? Yay. Ooh. Thank you, Camellia? I don't know why you're here. Lan. I'm not good. Shot. I actually hit. But 1 damage. Switch to my Beverly Blade. Kill it. And? Nice. Biff. I... Seventh throw succeeded. Sela's here. Thank you, Sela. Let's look inside the loot. We have a purifying solution. Oh, Woldriff is breakdancing. Oh, is that all? Here, I was just enjoying the show.
Ready.
If there's anything in here. Okay, I think that's it. Can we go upstairs? Nope, we leave the area. Alright, let's leave. Alright, so now we gotta go back to the market. I think I have to put the Oh, I just have to have it, I guess. I don't know where he's gonna be. No idea. So, I'm gonna go Google it real quick. Adepts. Desna Adepts. Alright. So he's in the middle. All. So he. Okay. I still haven't checked that area out. Oh, maybe it's that guy. The eyes of the young man peer out at you from under the massive helmet. At this proximity, it is obvious that his armor is ill-fitting and mismatched. And the helmet specifically is either poorly made or a theater prop. Pardon me. I saw you with the shawl. Does that mean you're a friend of Aranka's? What am I saying? Of course it does. So... The young man's speech is interrupted by the arrival of new casts of characters. People in the robes of Iomede's Inquisitors appear from all sides surrounding him. Adep Thal, of the Temple of Desna, you are under arrest on suspicion of treason and aiding the demons. You have 1 minute to come quietly. Drag your feet, and we'll count that as an attempt to resist justice. Prelate Halrun appears behind his people. And here's the traitor who almost corrupted the wardstone with his magic. You don't think that the disorder and demonic presence in the city would distract us from pursuing traitors, did you? The youth's eyes go wide, and he says nothing, clearly not knowing what to do. Demons are running amok all over Canabris, and now is not the time for settling scores. On the contrary, now is the perfect time to catch the demon accomplices while they're overconfident and letting their masks slip. You're torturing this boy for nothing. I can't stand for this. The Inquisitor's brow furrows. You bear the gift of heaven, and you're taking the side of the delinquent and conspirator? Yep. I lift my hands. My hand extends. Heaven knows not only righteous anger, but mercy as well. The Inquisitor's gaze at the light, not even blinking, his face reveals a desperate inner struggle. At last, he rubs his temples. I did not know why you were standing in the way of justice, but I do not wish to stand a spat between the goddess righteous warriors in this hour of peril. Let this Desna riffraff go wherever he likes, just as long as he's out of my sight. When we liberate the city from the demons, I will see to it that every one of Ramian's runts and everyone like him will be driven out of Canabris. Come, faithful. We have no further business here. The young man lets out a sigh of relief as he watches the Inquisitors go. This is just blatantly unfair. We tried to protect the city from demons, and instead of helping us, we get hunted by the Inquisitors. Prelate Halrun be the death of us all, and there's nothing we can do about it. Anyway, thank you. I'd be done for without you. I think the Inquisition has gone too far. I'm glad I didn't let them take you. That's it. I don't believe I'll go get any fair hearing from Halrun. If it wasn't for you, I would have been tortured and put to death. But even so, I have my regrets. I do think we went too far trying to break into the Wardstone, and we didn't even save anyone. Chin up, pal! Now you screwed up royally, no doubt. But you meant well, didn't you? Horan was trying to do the same thing as you, but he killed a whole lot of people doing it. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to go to the Temple of Desna. I want to be alone with the goddess and reflect on all that has happened. I nod. Horan really pisses me off. But I actually understand his paranoia. Let's head to the Temple of Desna and see if we can...
I won't let you hurt my friends.
Who is that? Who's attacking us? Don't know where they're coming from. I think I'm gonna take a potion. Yes. Oh, fiendish centipede. Oh, some spell resistance, damage reduction. Killed it. There's another one.
Distract them from me.
A bug? Another one.
Attack!
Yes.
Surrender or else.
Hit it. And do your thing.
Let's try this way.
That ends that. Contemplate on your mistakes. It's unfortunate I chose the wrong voice for this character.
I'll go ahead.
I really like the pious voice, even though it sounds terrible in character creation. When he's actually in combat and you have, say, Dreadful Carnage, oh, it's bad A. Oh, this is totally badass. Alright, here's the Temple of Desna. Hope they made it here safely. 1 second. Oh, there they are. They did make it here. I'm really happy. Alright, let's talk to Ilkus. Ilkus, Aranka, and Thal sit side by side like sparrows on a tree branch. They seem happy despite the chaos going around them. If it isn't your rescuer, it's good that you've come. Sit with us. I am pleased to see that you're all fine, but there's still much work to be done in the city. That's true, Ilkus nods. But can we give you a gift before you go? We wouldn't give this to anyone apart from the person who bravely defended us from injustice. The injustice inflicted by the people who should be the pillars of law and order in our city. Our gift, Aranka cuts in, is a song. We call it Starward Gaze, and it came to us from the true servants of Desna, from her domain in Elysium. This song can gift you a soul with renewed vitality. Just listen, she sings the melody. Do I get a gift? Can I swap my song for something else? Say cash or even a snack of some kind? Paying no attention to Wildriff's chatter, the young woman continues to sing. I feel this tug inside me, this need to sing along. I try to resist at first, but I give in and sing the song after Aranka. You repeat the melody, feeling it come from somewhere within your heart. And then... When the music stopped, Konstantin finds himself in a place that looks nothing like the ruins of Canabris. It all happens in the space of a blink. He closes his eyes on one world and reopens them in another one entirely. The delicate twilight envelops this new world, and the streaks of moonlight breaks through the gloom. Konstantin is standing in a shallow stream of murmuring water, deep in a forest. There's no one else around. Garlands of unfamiliar climbing plants twine around the trunks of gigantic trees, and dangling from their branches are vines, woven in what looked remarkably like swings. A carpet of fragrant grasses spread out at the tree's root, with the island of phosphorescent moss and lichen dotted here and there. I don't know what lichen is. Small, smooth stones with a strange mirrored surface are scattered across the stream bed in which Konstantin is standing. The stones catch the light shining down from the heavens, making them gleam silver and making the ordinary little brook look like a stream of darkness, carrying a sprinkling of stars throughout the night. Konstantin is sure that he has never been to a place like this before, and yet it all feels so familiar. It is in the manifestations, not of the dreams or fantasies, but of that special way of looking at the world that only children possess. When a glint of light reflected off a piece of glass becomes a fallen star, when an oddly shaped stone can become a remarkable artifact, and when every shadow or twist in a path promises mystery or incredible adventure. A single glance into the forest stream brings this feeling rushing back. Realizing this, Konstantin chambers up the nearest tree to play on a vine swing. The stream of star stones babble away below. The swings begin to gently move, arcing up and smoothly down again. What lies behind the thrill of this simple pastime gives mortals is the sensation of weightlessness, the hunger for freedom and flight. Whatever it may be, Konstantin quickly realizes that he is no longer alone. They come closer, not attempting to hide, stepping slightly on the mossy carpet, leaping from branch to branch, or flinting through the air. Flitting? The creatures are thoroughly bizarre, as though they are deliberately conceived to try the sanity of whoever taxonomist on the planet. One has the fluttering wings of a butterfly on the back, another has the tails of a dozen different animals, while a third boasts tresses of streaming water, hooves instead of feet, and springing clover growing all over its skin. "We have a visitor," exclaims one of the strange creatures, and it immediately pushes the swing, helping it pick up speed. "Who are you?" "We are Azadas, the children of freedom," says one of the creatures, carelessly swinging from the branches of a tree. "This forest is our home for today. Tomorrow our home could be a lake 100 leagues to the south, or an underground cave in the azure ocean, or a castle of clouds that scatter the dawn breeze." "Where am I?" "Don't you know where you are?" asks the creature in amazement. "There are plains of breathtaking beauty and plains of astonishing wonder, but only Elysium is woven from the craving for beauty, from the belief in wonders. That is where you are, in the most peaceful, most wonderful corner of the plain of boundless freedom. We are Azadas, the children of freedom," says one of the creatures, carelessly swinging from the branch. "How did I get here?" "We don't know how you came to be here," says the creature with the dozen, smiling. "Mortals rarely come to Elysium during their lifetime. But here you are, which means that something must have brought you. Something in your soul, perhaps? If your soul did not harbor even the slightest spark of freedom, yearning, and compassion, you never would have found your way here. Now, Now that you know the answers, tell us, what do you want? What do I want? My friends, I have to go back. They need me there. The creature with the butterfly wings has hitherto remained silent, gives the visitor a serious look, and nods to itself. I smell the burning blood and tears of the place you have come from. Links to you. It is right that you don't wish to turn your back on the suffering of those you left behind. None of us children of Elysium would do such a thing. Go on, go back. Be a bulwark against evil and strife. Your path is true. But would you like to take something from this place as a memento? The question hangs in the air, and though the words that Konstantin utters next are merely words, not a spell nor a military command, they seem to have equal bearing on the destiny of life. Konstantin extends his hand, the intention to accept. Yes. Yes, I really want to. The Azatas draw closer. Take this memory with you. Take this light. Take the knowledge that any pebble struck by a moonbeam can be equal to any star. Take the understanding that you cannot fight evil with clever plans until you have conquered evil within your soul, and your soul cannot be cleansed of evil if it is not free. Take our song, remember it, and may it help you, but only when you are true to which brought you beneath the sky. All three adepts look at you wide-eyed. What just happened? For a second you were surrounded by light, and we heard music, like the music of Elysium itself. Coming to, I look at the three of them. It was jarring, switching from one world to the other. Finally I spoke. I had a vision. You are right, I was in Elysium, and the Azatas spoke to me. The adepts exchanged looks of astonishment. I swear it's a sign! The sign that Desna herself has turned her gaze on you. You helped us and protected Wallflower from the Inquisitors, even though it wasn't your responsibility. The goddess couldn't fail to acknowledge such noble soul. We might be getting ahead of ourselves here. There are many powerful entities in Elysium besides Desna, but of course, there must be a reason for it. I'm so glad we met you, friend. And not just because I would be being tortured by the Inquisitors right now if you hadn't, but also because you helped me overcome my doubts. We will always remember you, no matter what. That was pretty cool. I received Wand of Remove Disease. That's pretty cool. Oh, let's see what's in here. There's Fanfare of the Faithful. I'm gonna take that. Will. And Altar of Desna. Alright, I think we're at a good stopping point. I think I'm gonna try to get back to the Defender's Heart and save there. What do you all think about the Desnans, the Azatas? Let me know in the comments. Alright, let's get out of here. Fastest way out. Let's exit, so let's... I think there's something else I'm supposed to get here, but for the life of me, I can't recall what it is. Let's leave. Probably try to take the Great Garrison, but there's something about Blackwing. Just don't have enough resources. Lost back. Something else. Oh, let's go to Terbate's residence before I forget. Oh. Caught us by surprise. What? I'm gonna increase my attack. Good hit. Nice. Good sneak attack. Is he flat-footed? Nope, it was his full armor class. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how to always get flat-footed status. Maybe it's something, maybe it's a class feature from Rogue? I'm not entirely sure. Another fight.
Time to share your treasures.
Back. Ooh, I did not see that. Hit. There's another one. Hit. Thank you, Sela. Lan, you are a machine gun. I think we got everything. Let's get out of here. You should probably rest soon. You know, I have no idea why the Magus was not given just the same spellbook as the Eldritch Scoundrel. I cannot think of a reason. I don't know if Scoundrel is a full caster. I don't think they are. I think they only get up to 6th level spells. But I don't know why they don't get the full spell. It's so weird. They only get 6th level. Super weird, but not gonna complain. Yeah, I'm not gonna complain. Oh, he has a dead level 5. He's out.
You're a good person.
He's out too.
I like you.
Up here.
Don't mind
Griff, do your thing. Yes. I missed. Well, maybe not. Let's make this a preferred. Oh, it's only one shot anyway. Oh, that was a waste. To give Woodruff a second chance. I don't know why you're so far away, Revan. Also gonna intimidation check. Still missed. Alright. Man, it's up to you. Multi-attack. Nice. What is that? I have no idea what that creature was.
This will hurt.
Hit. Up. Heal up. Your thing. Didn't kill him. If your thing. Missed. And do your thing? Yeah. Oh, I did. Medic.
Unexpected outcome.
Fortitude. The fight. Strike. We have to overcome the spell. And a Hail Mary it. Worked! Hello? And down. Then only taking this build is heavy. I think there are more of them. I think you can get in there. Hang on, see you, Sela. Hello, Sela. Trap. Told you after your Nice hit. Sela.
A calculated risk.
It's hit. Sela's gonna. Man, he's gonna.
You won't survive me.
That would have been impressive if you actually hit. Hurts. Oh! And the plot thickens. But I need that thing hard. man.
This should do it.
Damn it. Oh, I hit Shearing Light. Whoops. Look almost the same to me. I'm gonna try it. Work. Rolled a 1. Kill him. Ooh. This is getting bad. Nice, Sela. Actually going to try one more time. That. And
Endure this!
This will leave a bruise.
oh, how is he hitting so much? He just
Yes.
oh, you're gonna blow. Didn't do that. Oh, actually. I have a lower chance of hitting, but I'm gonna.
Into the fray!
Can't you just die already?
It's a pretty nice rapier. I know who I'm giving that to. Something there. Oh, a book. Funny. Death letter. Nevia, if you're reading this, know that I'm alive and I'm rallying a troop of survivors to rise the city's defense. We're going to fight our way to the Defender's Heart Tavern. Set up your command there and hold the line until help arrives. Or, if the goddess wills it, we'll launch an attack on the great garrison. I love you and I trust that we will see each other again in this world. Here, Beth. Taking that. I feel like there was something else that was here. Did I feel like a... It doesn't look like it. Maybe it was a hidden perception check. Anyone saw it. Person. Okay, there. Boss trap. Yeah, I don't. Guess that was it. I thought there was something more here, but do not see anything here. Alright, let's that last place and gone. On with it. Don't see anything there. Is there a fight over here? Party depth. Wait a second. Oh. Quarterstaff, which I don't really need yet. Yeah,
I know the way.
I think everything and anything that we're going to find has already been found. Skedaddle. Alright, let's go here. And we need to... another fight.
You can handle them, right?
Man. Tila.
We shall overcome.
Alright, got him. Let's get out of here.
Follow my lead.
Here. No, I should probably save this.
Quiet steps. Weapons ready.
Fight in here?
Defeat is not an option.
A mimic? Oh crap, we need to get out of here. Crap. We are not ready for this. I am going to load. Or back in. I hope it's not. I am not doing that fight. I saw it, level 10, retired. We will come here another time. Let's get back. Defender's Heart. We can avoid a fight, we'll avoid it. We are tired. Lan, thank you for being the real MVP. Of course. God. Why?
I'm wounded.
God damn. They're determined to attack.
You crossed the wrong mongrel.
Alright, we're gonna try it. I didn't see that. I fed your crow. The way she was hopping around my bag of food, you'd think she hadn't eaten. Or just believe her. Good is clever and is just pretending to be hungry. I fed her only half an hour ago. Sometimes a long awaited rest does not bring the desired relief. What comes is a heavy, clinging sleep on the edge of wakefulness, where consciousness seems poised between reality and oblivion. The possible reasons for such disturbed slumber are myriad. Strained nerves, perhaps, and a lingering reaction to trauma. Konstantin emerges from the oblivion of his laden sleep like a drowned man dragging himself up from the depths of a swamp. The wound on his chest is burning like someone pressed an invisible brand into it. The wound has closed again, but the blood stain on his shirt betrays its presence beneath. There's no time to investigate the cause behind the malaise. A trying day lies ahead, but how will Konstantin be up to the challenge if his thoughts are muddled and his entire body aches after a day's toil? I can't ignore my health. I'll douse myself in cold water and be good as new. As if a veteran adventurer could be frightened by a bad dream, a splash of cold water enlivens his senses and the wariness abates, retreating to the depths of his subconscious, but leaving the path open to return the next time refuge in sleep. Konstantin recalls that he slept peacefully in Defender's heart. Perhaps a priest can examine what has happened. Okay. Let's talk to the priest, sell our crap, and rest properly. Woldriff has an extra spell slot that I need. I feel like there's something else. Oh, there's someone I'm supposed to talk to over here. Oh, Daeran Vane. A grizzled dwarf turns a blade in his calloused hands. Calloused hands? Carefully inspecting its edge. Oh, so that's how you spell calloused, huh? When he sees you approaching, he sets the blade aside and greets you with a nod. A new face in the city. You picked a good time to come to Canabras. As you can see, we're in sore need of warriors. I decided to show him Radiance. Do you recognize this sword? Do I recognize it? Of course I do. I made this with my own hands. There's my brand. See? The dwarf carefully takes the sword in his hands, gazing at it like a doting father. Oh, Yaniel. Things have been tough without you. But at least we've got your sword. That's something. Daeran returns the sword to you. In battle, ordinary swords get blunted. They break. But sometimes a sword can preserve. I don't know how to explain it. I'm no authority on these things, but something like an echo of the deeds done with that weapon. Or more like the reflection of the wielder's soul. I don't know. I will say one thing. Take care of that sword. Yaniel may now no longer be with us, but the demons will still remember why they need to turn tail and run when they see radiance. Ouch! The scabbard's all worn. We can't be having a fine sword like that being carried around in this tatty thing. I'll make you a new one, if you like. If the city stands strong and we both survive, come see me again, and I'll have it ready. No charge. Hey, show me your wares. Bulk sell a lot of stuff? Yay! I like that scimitar. I'm never going to sell it. Kinda nice. Makes it hard for perception checks, though. I do want to get her a nicer shield. Inner. That's a really nice. I think we've got everything. Let's go to the spell book. I think I'm going to use mirror image next time. Shield and shield is fine. Oh, okay. So let's give him mirror image. That way he doesn't die easily, I guess. I kinda wish he had. That's okay. You have more spell. I think these are fine. Spells? Oh. Level spell. Maybe I should try being a spirit hunter next time. Sword Saint. Screwed. That's interesting. Interesting. I actually have second. Acting properly. Actually, it's going to go down by one because I'm going to start green style. Okay. Let's go. They're still trying to get the horns off. It's funny. Let me talk to him. Galen seems remarkably at ease. His face is untroubled, as if his life and the lives of everyone else in the tavern aren't hanging by a thread. As he reads a dog-eared book and makes notes in the margins, he notices you, looks up from the page, and gives you an amiable nod. Seems Miyamir Scholar means a lot to you. He's my teacher, Kaelin responds simply. Without her, I wouldn't be who I am today. What are you reading? Kaelin closes the book and shows you the cover. Selected passages from the letters of Saint Limerin. I'm amazed how humble she was. She could have been a high priestess of the Church of Iomade if she wanted to. Power was hers for the taking, but clearly it wasn't a temptation for her. Reading these letters, I understand why Iomade made Limerin one of her servants after she died. How can you help us when we attack the Great Garrison? There's one ritual that we've been wanting to test for a long time. If it works as it should, we can offer you an effect similar to a haste spell, but for a handful of seconds. But for scores of minutes, maybe even hours. That is useful. Well, I think I'm good. Be careful. Our foes like to pretend to be our friends. Makes me wonder if he actually is one of our foes. I'm supposed to talk to somebody. Oh, yeah. A stout old man with a fuzzy gray beard mumbles a prayer. He looks as tired as everyone else in the tavern, but determination is stamped upon his haggard face. What can I do for you? Whenever I sleep outside the walls of the Defender's heart, I'm plagued with terrible dreams. Can you help me? The priest studies your face carefully. You look tired, but otherwise entirely healthy. If you were anywhere else, I would simply tell you to get some rest, but we are on the border of the World Rune. I'm all too aware of what's happening to you. As you know, the Wound is a rift between Golarion and the Abyss. All the evil that feeds the Abyss does the opposite in our world. It feeds on Golarion. So, it is that even when we cannot see demons near us, our ultimate foe, the Abyss, is always surrounding us. Many soldiers fighting in the World Wound experience similar things. They suffer terrible nightmares, get no peace, and sometimes even lose their mind. But we train to help you with this affliction. By the will of Abadar, I have consecrated an altar here. The god's grace permeates the space around it, soothing one's soul and quieting thoughts during rest. So if you find your nerves are fraying, seek out a holy place, like this. Approach it, and all the corruption will be cleansed from you. Who is that boy with you? This one? Kayado? Or Kayado, yeah. The shepherd, my apprentice. He's a smart boy, and his faith is strong. He serves Aristil, though. But there's still something he can learn from an old servant of Abadar. He'll be a great cleric when he gets a little... Oh, okay. Oh. Tell me what scrolls you're selling. I'll definitely want some shield spells. I don't have to cast them. Burning Arc spells would be very nice. Mirror image spells, I can't buy all. Raise Dead would be nice, but I don't... that's really nice. Bracers of the Wizard. Bracers grant the wearer armor bonus of +2 just as... and +3 on Knowledge Arcana. That... 2 Death Wards. Fire Communal, because you should always have Fire Communal. investment because I found out that it actually stacks. I didn't know that it stacks, but it does. Let's see. I should probably get these. I don't have any money left, so probably not. I'll take a haste. Burning Hands is nice. All the mage armor. Use person. Fox's Cunning. Invisibility. One displacement. Arrows. Oh, that's nice. It's pretty much all. I'm gonna have to use them very sparingly because I don't have a lot of. He's gonna get Fencing Grace at level 4. Fire Master. Flashing Grace at level 5. Well, I think I have to get Weapon Focus. I think I. You can stab your enemies with your sword or another slashing weapon. Or one-handed slashing weapon. I don't get it for Flurry of Blows. I did not know that. Did not know. Alright, let's rest. I found the blind elf whispers something under his breath. Hearing your steps, he turns to you slowly. Greetings, Konstantin. Have you brought me a new story? I found it in the square where Turundalif perished. What do you make of it? I present the purple stone. Storyteller reaches out and says softly, even from here, I can feel strange energies emanating from this object. If you don't mind, I will examine it, using my method. I will try to see the past of its owner, their emotions, and shreds of their memories. Maybe it'll help us better understand what we are dealing with. The storyteller touches the knife, his fingers clamping around the hilt with a hungry, masterful grip. His face contorts into an evil grimace, his voice distinguishedly raspy. Hunger. May many legs bring me into the lair, to my mother's feasting hall. Her swollen body overfilled with food is so huge that I have to look at it with all my eyes at once, on top of her scrawny little head with a long beak that is always yearning for more food. You feel feverish, and your chest, where the mysterious wound is concealed, feels hot. Your mind is flooded with a wave of visions that repeat the words of the old. Mother greets me with a placid screech. Stupid, greedy wretch, whose only achievement is my birth. A creeping, wingless creature. It's your fault I have no wings. A symbol of greatness, a birthright I should have received from my mighty father. Mother points to me to a crowd of whimpering subjects, suggesting I fortify myself with their pathetic flesh. Not today. I summon my spawn, and they fly to me, enveloping me in a teeming cloud. Like dark buzzing wings, they unfold behind my back and lift me up. Mother has always been stronger, but she did not expect this. I dive on her and rip her limp, bloated body with my claws. Ichor splatters. The blood spurs on my heels sink into her flesh. I clench her pitiful tiny head and tear it off, along with the shreds of meat. Victory! I am the strongest. I am the son of the winged father. The elf grimaces with distaste. His voice becomes normal again. Appalling. Stories like that are the most difficult ones to keep with me. Did this knife belong to a demon? The storyteller opens his mouth to answer, but a sudden spasm crosses his face. A new vision, a stronger one, engulfs the old elf. The malevolent undertones vanish from his voice as it grows more determined and tired. Even looking at the ward stone is difficult, despite the corruption nesting in it. It still has an aura of strength. Your fingers clutches the stone's hilt so tight it hurts. A little spot on the flawless surface of the warstone draws your attention. It looks like a butterfly, corruption in the guise of something utterly harmless. But it still grows. You swing and stab the butterfly with the knife as hard as you can. Your fingers cramp painfully. A howl invades your ears. Light. White light everywhere. The stone knife falls from the old man's hand. Out of breath, he drops to his knees. He is trembling, the terror on his face so unlike his usual dignified manner. What was that? That was not the past. That was something that has yet to happen, or rather, might happen. One of the roads to the future. In one of the possible futures, this item will help you cleanse the wardstone, or to destroy it. You feel a longing to take the stone chisel and plunge it into your chest, right into the wound that has opened up in it. It's hard to resist the feeling, but at the last minute, your self-preservation instinct takes over, and you manage to keep control of your own. The old man stands up. He looks completely stunned. Never before has anything like this happened to me, but now, I am not an oracle or prophet. Or is this another riddle from the past that has caught up with me? I must find out. Seeing stories that have happened is one thing, but seeing stories that have yet to happen? I don't know why this is happening now, but there is one thing I'm sure of. This is not a coincidence. This is a sign of coming changes. Great changes. I shared your vision, and this knife tempted me. Did you see what I saw? This has never happened before. Could it be the magic of the object that you brought me? I sense the dark energies in it that a cloud and charm that can cloud and charm the mind. Be careful with this item. It may have tried to influence you, but you managed to overcome its power and subdue it. Or perhaps something else happened to us, something we don't understand. Your powers are amazing. A few minutes ago, I would have agreed with you, but the thing that has just happened, it disturbs me. My gifts has never manifested like this. Something has changed, and these changes frighten me. Well, please examine the items I'm carrying. Perhaps some of them could tell us a story. The storyteller nods politely. Let me touch them, and I'll tell you what I see. The old elf takes Yaniel's sword, Radiance. Powerful forces lie dormant in this sword. It used to belong to an incredibly bright and daring soul. The storyteller's hands runs carefully over the scale that has still not lost its shine. Proud Turundalev, protector of Canabras, you devoted your life to serving people. Your death is a great loss. but maybe I will be able to find out something about you that is unknown to your many admirers. The storyteller's hand touches Finian. With a particular weapon, I sense intelligence in it, but it seems dented? Grandpa Elf, watch where you're poking your fingers. It tickles. The elf looks at you with unusual patience. Shall we? No, I have to rest for tonight. I have important things I have to do. Return with new stories. I will be waiting. I have to go. I wish you interesting adventures. Oh, I leveled up. Let's do it. The level 5 Sword Saint. I need to get my feet style. Bonus feet. Let's see. Honestly, I really want... I could do... I think I'm gonna pick up combat reflexes so I can... Spells. Grace and Scorching Ray. Have it. Have Crane style. Her, she's going to. She's gonna have weapon finesse. She already has weapon finesse. I don't have weapon. That's so weird that I don't have weapon finesse. I'm gonna choose rapier. Don't have weapon finesse. I'm gonna choose weapon finesse. I have to get fencing grace. 2 more levels. Oh, she got crane style right off the bat. That's why. Okay. Effortless armor. Still not gonna hit anything. Okay. Scion. You're gonna get slashing grace. Oh. Slashing grace scimitar. Let's do spells though. Ooh, this is hard. I'm in between True Strike and Magic Missile. And Burning Hands, actually. I think Burning Hands won't be so right now. I'm gonna go with Magic. Oh, actually, Shocking Grasp. By the Bacon Knot. Should be able to wear light armor. Not going to. You can actually hit something. Probably better. Health and skill. Health skill strength. Focus. Who actually? Okay, Sorcerer Supreme. I think I'm gonna give her knowledge. Oh. Someone who could. She's not special. I'm gonna give her greater spell penetration. I think earpiece piercing scream. Oh, sorry. And I am going. Well, it'd be very useful. It's hard. Dead Cat's Grace. Be able to survive. Could get dodge. I want to give them. More people who have combat reflexes. He needs knowledge. And nature. Channel, no. Pressure channel. Something. I think I'm gonna give her either quicken or reflexes. And I have enter. I don't like the top. I think I'm gonna act. Pretty cool too. I'm gonna get seize the moment. Stigmatized Witch. These are a lot. Us has proficiency. Get that persuade. That is pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. I think I want something that X's. Oh, extra channel. Okay. Experience. I think I want her to have like give her a spell. Light command. Also really like sleep. Able. Very nice. Use spell. Invisibility is all. I'm gonna go with Arc. Daeran. I'm gonna go with. I feel like getting really annoying not to be. Alright, let's do. Well, I already have removed. Let's do remove fear. Level 2 spell. Personal. That could be useful. Move paralysis. I get full strength. Buff Sela. If I use them. Also gonna get. Should give them. As well, he has so many skills that I want to give him. Okay, so I could give him combat reflex. Yeah, I'm gonna get him combat. I have to come. I need to give him. Let's give him this. Well. I want him to hit a lot of people. Really nice if I can buff my guys. Oh, Lan, I love you, Lan. Yes. No, I kind of take care of. I learn cranes. He can learn outflank. Whenever you and an ally who's taking. Outflank. There's no one else. Everyone has to get it at the same time. I think he has improved. I think crane style. Yeah, I guess you know what? I'm gonna give him outflank now and seize the moment after. Let's feed her. You can get outflank, I will take it. Accomplished sneak attacker would be really nice. The moment would be nice. Lan has outflank. I want to give her miss. I think she got her spells now. Spell that I want her to. Reasons. 3 spells. This is useful. Also useful. Also. Protection from enemy. Full strength for Sela. Full Jiff. This one. This one. Get a third. Not the greatest, not the worst. Nope. Oh, minus sucks. Three spells. Have to worry. What? This. Can't hit anything yet. Or deal. Still. Needs improvement. Build. For I need better daggers. 7. Actually, switch to her. I'm gonna have to switch to Camellia. Powerful later. Don't want to. We're off to the side. Alright. I think we.
So you're the fella, I mean the gentleman who threw the party on the boats? I remember that. We had some fine fishing that night.
If by that, you mean that you thieflings plucked drunken aristocrats who had fallen overboard out of the water and stripped them of everything but their fillings, then I should think that was closer to seal hunting than fishing.
Damn! Got him. Alright, let's call it good for today. We did a lot. And a lot of... What the heck? There's a demon sleeping on the bed and dead. Oh, this game is glitching out, and I'm not even modded. I might have to start a whole new game. I hope not. That would suck. That would be unfortunate. Alright. Well, thank you for coming to the Soapbox. I hope you enjoyed my adventure, and as I stumbled through the reading sections, bear with me. I'll see y'all next time. Take care.